look at the concept of variables. What are variables? So I want you to go back in time when you were in 9th or 10th grade. We were learning about linear algebra and equations related to that. Now this is the sample equation of a straight line, which is y equal to mx plus c. Now I don't want to get into that complicated algebra again, but I want you to understand the concept of using alphabets instead of numbers to generalize one equation, right? Now this equation is y equal to mx plus c. If I want to draw a straight line and if I want to identify one point, then I will simply replace value of x and then I will get some value of y and then I'll get the coordinates, xy coordinates, right? So here constant is 2, c is constant which is 2, m is a constant which is 1, okay? So considering this, if I put value of x equal to 0, then value of y I will get is 2, right? This also can be illustrated with this table, okay? Now here the same equation y equal to mx plus c. Now if you see the pattern, if I put value of x equal to 0, then I'll get y value equal to 2. Now to find the next point, I will just increment it by 1, value of x equal to 1, and if I calculate, the value of y I will get is 3, right? And if I keep on incrementing the value of x, the value of y will change, but m and c are constants throughout, okay? So the concept of variable is we can create a container and store any kind of data into that container inside the memory, and we can give a name, a specific name to that container so that we can access the content inside that container. These containers is known as variables. So here in this case I can put x equal to 0. So x is my variable which represents value equal to 0, right? And simply I can override this value if I want. I will simply write again x equal to 1. So now my x is a variable which represents value equal to 1, which will be integer, right? So here y, m, x, c, everything are variable, but as per the pattern we have observed that m and c are constant throughout or consistent throughout. So that's why they are known as constants or static variables. That means it is not changing at all throughout the program or throughout the iterations. Versus the y and x, these alphabets are called as variables, okay? Now let's go back to our script and see how to implement a variable inside our code. So this is a simple hello world program. So what I can do is I can create some variables inside the program and then use it inside the print statement. So if I write the same equation here to find out value of y, I will give helper print a message. If I execute the program with Python and script name, I will get the value, but these are the static numbers, right? By the way, you can add notes or comments inside your program just for your reference. It will not be executed or compiled by the compilers. So comments you can add by simply putting hash at the start of the line. So all this green part will be ignored by the compiler or executor while executing the program. You can add multiple line comments as well. And now again, if I execute it, you will see I am getting the output. But still these are the static numbers, right? Now I will simply increment the value of x, and let's say I want to print this statement like 5 times. Okay, so let's try to execute it, and I got the output. But now suddenly I want to increment the value of x. Okay, so now what I have to do is I have to go to every print statement and change the value manually, right? So I have changed it, and again if I execute it, I will get the result. But here my work overhead will be, I need to go to every print statement and change the value manually. This is not the best practice to do, because today we have 5 statements. Tomorrow if we have 10 statements, then I'll have to go to each and every statement and replace it manually. Okay, so what's the solution? A solution is variable. So simply what I'll do is, I'll define a variable x with the value of 5, and I will refer x everywhere instead of static value. Yeah, I have replaced x. Now let's try to execute it. Okay, I am getting the output. But now the advantage is, if I want to change the value of x, I will simply need to change it only once, x equal to the number. So that is the power of variable, and this is very fundamental concept in programming. We will be using variables everywhere in our program. So let's try to get it clear as much as possible and practice more. In a nutshell, what are variables? Okay, so there are basically 5 points. First is, the variables are symbolic names or labels given to data in memory. So what is in memory? In memory is nothing but RAM, which is temporarily stored. So if we want to store any data, or if we want to refer any data again and again, by calling the actual value, what we can do is, we can give a symbolic name or a variable, and we can call or print that variable again and again. So it's good for reusability purpose. Okay. Second point is, variable can be changed whenever needed. So let's say in the command 1 you have assigned a variable, let it be x equal to 3, and after 5 or 6 commands you want to change that variable x equal to 5. So it is easily changeable. Third point is the syntax. Syntax is simple. If you want to create a string variable, you can create like name equal to, in double quotes, whatever the value. And if you want to create integer type of variable, then you can simply put the label equal to the value. Here the point to note is, when we are using equal to operator, always the value from right side will get into left side. So the ron value will get stored into the name value. So in program, whenever we call the name, it will implicitly call the ron value. Okay. The same case with age variable. Okay. Now age is the label, name is the label, and number 8 or string ron are the values. Okay. Fourth point is, data type of variable is same as data type, type of data it refers. Okay. So whatever value you store, whatever the data type of that value is, will become the data type of that particular variable, because it is nothing but referral to the value. It's labeled to that value. So data type will be same for both the variable and the value stored within the variable. And last point is, variables are temporarily stored in the RAM and gets deleted once program is finished or interrupted. So a variable gets created when program start executing, and variable gets deleted when program completed its execution. So it will not matter if program succeeds successfully, or it gets interrupted by user, or it gets interrupted due to any other error or exception. If the execution is finished, the variables are gone, the values are gone. Okay, it is only for that particular session where the program is under execution. Okay, so these are 5 pointers of variable.